What is going on, guys? All right, we're talking about the triple threat match at the Royal Rumble between my boy Daniel Bryan, Mark Henry, and the world's strongest man, Wait, I already said that. The world's strongest man, Mark Henry, the world's largest athlete, The Big Show, and Daniel Bryan. Now, make sure to hit a like on the video. It really does help me out, but that's not the point. The point is figuring out who is going to win. Now, obviously, there's been some interesting suggestions from this match. Now, when it gets down to, Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, I always look at what I see is going to be happening at WrestleMania. That's kind of how I decide who's going to win what. That's like my predictions. The other pay-per-views in the year really don't matter. They really don't build up to WrestleMania. Usually, Royal Rumble is where feuds start. Not necessarily start, but, have a capacity to build. And you know what? There's been talks of Big Show versus Mark Henry again at WrestleMania. We've already seen him wrestle at pay-per-views. It's already getting boring. I wouldn't want to see it at WrestleMania, to be honest with you. But then there was talks about Shaq versus Big Show. And, that was kind of an interesting match. I thought it was pretty cool. And then there was talks about Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk for the unification of the WWE title. And that one blew my mind. That one, everybody was expecting Chris Jericho versus Daniel Bryan. That's what everybody was expecting. And, no, wait, what? No. Chris Jericho versus CM Punk. That's what, for the best in the world title. You know what? But then that interesting idea about Daniel Bryan and CM Punk coming up. They brought him on TV together. They've been building him. CM Punk is over as a face. You got Daniel Bryan over as a heel, so you would have that heel face thing. In this feud right now, Mark Henry, was a heel. Daniel Bryan is a heel, and Big Show still gets that face pop, but he's been acting kind of like a heel, like with the rampages. So, it's like almost three heels going against each other right now, and it really doesn't make sense, unless they're trying to turn Mark Henry back to face, which I think is really dumb. After all the years he spent as a face, a good guy, he finally turned heel, went on a rampage, and now it's just kind of like over, and he's been injured, and he's re-injured. He got re-injured on SmackDown, so it's kind of a disappointment, It's like, okay, you built up Mark Henry, and now you're just kind of throwing him to the wolves. You're not really doing much with him, and he did get hurt at the SmackDown taping, and he's still being advertised, though. They pulled him from the live events to give him an extra day of rest, but they are going to let him wrestle, He's one tough son of a bitch. And I give it to Mark Henry because company officials wanted him, and this is just rumored, the company officials wanted him to take some time off and, to recuperate from injuries. And Mark Henry's like, no, I can compete. I'll do it. I'll be on the show. And I have to give it to him. That's pretty awesome. In the couple weeks when he was just sitting around when his ankle was taped up, he was really hurt. That's why, he wasn't really competing. He was just there and had a presence. And, that's Mark's dedication to the WWE. I mean, that is good dedication to the WWE. It's a guy that, has been with the company forever. And, you know what? They gave him one last title run, and I think it may be his last or, coming down with some hopefully new SmackDown talent being built up, and like Cody Rhodes, Ted DiBiase eventually, even though he's got a broken wrist now, all those guys that need to be built up, Wade Barrett and Sheamus. And I don't think there's a place for Mark Henry, in the near future at least. So I'm going to go ahead and say, for my prediction in this video, Daniel Bryan's going to retain the title. If, they want to, I don't know where they're going to go with the World Heavyweight Championship. Another speculation would be that CM Punk and Johnny Ace, they both turn heel. Well, Johnny Ace is already heel, but CM Punk turns heel, and I think that would blow my mind. I don't even know what to say. If that happened, I would be like, whoa, what the hell? And I would be so happy because I'm actually buying the Royal Rumble pay-per-view tonight. I'm not getting the stream. I'm buying the pay-per-view again. This is like the third one in a row I've bought. I bought Survivor Series and TLC. I'm going to buy it, guys. I'm going to be watching it. Come hang out with me. I'm going to have a live chat on my Facebook, facebook.com/TubbyEmu, getting your reactions live on what you think about the pay-per-view, guys. I'm going to say D. Bryan holds on to the title, at least till Elimination Chamber, guys. My name is Tubby Emu. Have a good day, guys. Peace.